Okay, so when we using the smartboard, you can use the smartboard as just whiteboard, and then you just like you use the board in class, but it still can be interactive even if you don't do anything, you don't create anything, you just use it as a board. As you can go to full screen, and now you have just a board that you can use. The benefit of the interactive board that it's different from the other boards is that you can play with the word and you can create words that like an object. So if I say shalom, right, in Hebrew, I actually create an object. Okay, I can move it. I can make it in block. So if you have like, let's say messy handwriting or you write very fast, you can create that and make it one word, and you can play with that. Okay, you can clone it. So for example, one of the students say a word and you need more words like that. You can clone it and I can have more. Okay, so again, this I didn't do anything, I didn't prepare anything, I didn't use any hours of my own. I just come to class and I can still use it as interactive. Okay, I can play with the, so for example, I can flip it. So if you do like, you want the students maybe to do something that they don't see the word immediately, they can, so you can still do a lot with that. Okay. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. So now, it's a big shalom to all of you. Shalom. Okay, if I want to go back to my screen, I press here. Okay, so I'm going to orient that. That's a reminder for me that sometimes there is a plus sign here that you need to orient your board to let it know that we are working with it. So hopefully now it will be more cooperative. Yeah. So again, remember to orient the board sometimes, because if it was not touched for all day or from yesterday, then you have to orient. And then we have the toolbar, which is all these icons, and we're going to see what each one of them is doing to help us to teach the language. I will use the toolbar to use it. Some of my worksheets, but I also have some English here just to, that you'll not see Hebrew all the time, but mostly it will be in Hebrew because these are my assignments, my worksheets. So as you see, the Smartboard notebook goes by slides. So like you do PowerPoint, you just add slide. I can add, just do plus and the plus here. Okay, I have these 3 and 4 I added. Okay, so you just go and you create like your PowerPoint, and there's no end for that, right? You can add and add, you can have 100 slides. I have here 50, but you can have as much as you need.
Where does it say you have 50? Is there?
Well, it's
right there.
Yeah. See, I'm going all the way, and I have 54. Okay. What you can do also with these slides, let's say it's just more than lesson, you can actually give it a name. Okay, so it's April 19th. I created that, for example. But I can actually give it a name, rename page. Okay, so that's new maybe. And then I can say, I have a keyboard, and I can say, today is, I want to call it UWM. So I can give the date. Now I have, we can erase the date. Now I have the name here. It's UWM. I don't know what the board is, but you can put the name. Yes.
Can you import PowerPoint into?
Yes.
Or is it's a big mess, or you just?
No, not at all. So we'll do, I'll show you first this, and then I will show you how you can actually, before we get to the really creating thing, there are so many things you can do until then. So yeah, you can upload all your documents, Word documents, PowerPoints, and still work with all that, and not even thinking about creating of your own, not yet.
But you can't move it around that way, that's the thing.
Right.
It's just like one block. when you
Exactly.
import those bits.
But then you can use all that, all the toolbar you can use to highlight, and I'll show now how to do it. So yes, so first you can have your name, you can have your PowerPoint, your slides, and you can go with the arrows, or you can
Yeah.
just click on that.
And one more
Yes.
question, I don't know why it seems so simple and I haven't been able to figure out how to do it. Let's say I have two different notebook documents and I wanna copy one page and put it into another page, another document.
Mhm.
And I haven't been able to,
From one,
just take one of the
yeah.
pages and now use it again in another document. I haven't
You
been
can
able
do
to.
that. If I go, this is my slide, I have copy page.
And then I can go into a different.
Yeah, I can do, okay, so I
Okay,
copy
all right.
page, and then I can,
I believe you.
what's that?
You don't have to do it.
Okay,
I just
I'll
was
show you
like,
later.
I haven't
Bye.
had success doing it, okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so let's start with the toolbar that we have here. So I'll show you how to do the plus, when you add a line. This is like in Word, you go back, okay? The other activity, if you want to go back, that's exactly like Word. Here you have the save button, okay? So I'm going to ask me if I want to save, so I'm saving. Okay, so whatever you create, save it. I don't know if you're a Google user, but you know, when we started to use Google, we don't save anymore. We forget to save because it saves automatically. So I always have to remind myself that Smartboard, we still need to save everything. And then you have the screen. So when you have the screen, you can see that there are a few options. You have full screen, dual page display, all that. Usually I use the full screen, but you can also use the dual page display, which is very nice, because if I do so full screen, you saw what I'm doing. Now I have this grammar worksheet for the ESL teachers. I have this full screen. I want to go back to the dual, so let's say I'm here, and I want to do the dual one. Dual is display. Gives me an option to use two boards in a way. The benefit of that is if students are still copying from that, and some students already are ahead, you can start giving them that, and you don't have to erase the board and go to your next activity. So you leave it like that, but still you can have another board. So sometimes it helps to have dual screen, and then you can just go back to your full screen. Okay, I'm going back to the thing. So we did a plus, we did a save, and we did a screens. Now we are going to have the pens. The pens are very important because that's what you're going to use a lot. Okay, so I'm going to the pens, and in the pens I have few options. Okay, I have one of the things that we use a lot is the highlighter. Okay, so for example, I'm looking at this grammar worksheet, and I want to highlight, tell the students, I'm going back to full screen, and I'm going to tell the student to highlight all the nouns, for example. So I'm doing it with them, right? So I'm going to highlight. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's spiders. Okay, all the. Then I want them to highlight, let's say, the pronoun. Okay, so I'm going to different color. So I want this one. And I want to do pronoun. Okay, this is a little bit dark, but let's say you want. You always can go back to here, okay? Go back to the colors, and now I want to do adjectives. Okay. So again, this is just a tool to show, to emphasize, and maybe if you like to work with highlighters and colors. The pen, so I go back to the arrow. Every time I want to change an activity, I always go back, and it clears everything and cleans it, and I can start over. So I'm going back to the pen, and let's say I want to emphasize, it says circle the adjective. So I'm going to do the shape recognition pen, and I want to, let's say, circle the adjective. So if I do this, it makes it automatically the circle. It makes my shape better. Okay, and so I want to do verbs. I want to make squares the verbs. So I'll do like this. Right? I have to go back to the recognize. Okay, it's not working, right? Sure.
Or like circles.
Yeah, here. You have to do it. Yeah, you have to close it.
Parallelogram.
You have to, what's that? Yeah, now it's good. You have to close it. I don't use that so often, but you can.
And can you erase the ones that you've, like, where that says
Eraser.
is going? You just use the eraser tool then?
Okay, so eraser, yeah, this is our eraser, and we have different size. If you have small one, or if you have a big one. So you can erase the one that is not by the shape, but if you need to erase the one that you did, then it's an object, so I have to delete it this way. Okay, so if I want to delete this one, yeah, I have to go there and then do delete. Because the moment I shaped it, then it's an object and I can only delete it by clicking that and do delete. Okay, so let's say I upload the text that I have from the book. Again, I can highlight, I can circle, I can make lines. I can also use the magic pen. So the magic pen helps me to emphasize things. So for example, I want to emphasize the plural suffix im. Okay, in Hebrew, im, I am, or in English it would be es, es. I want to emphasize the plural. So I can use my magic pen just to show the suffix. Okay, so let's say I'm going to show just to make it. So if you have es or es, ies, or ed if it's past tense, or I can make the verb comes out like, so it shows you if you want to emphasize something. So again, the magic pen, if you do a square, it's like you pop it out. If you make a circle, you spotlight it to show the difference. And then you can ask students to come. I ask many students all the time to come to the board and just they do it. So while they're looking at it, they start to circle, to square. It's nice, they like to, it's interactive and even the touch of the boards is nice. Okay, so, and then you have, of course, many things you can just play with that, with the pen, and you can have like creative pens, so let's say they say answer, and you can use that, or you can do a creative pen. You choose the color, and if they say, let's say, okay, look at the text and see what are like the positive statements, or if anything, and you can just give them smileys if they say if they say good things, right? If they read, let's say even you practice reading, or even like yesterday I did an exercise that they had a text in present tense and they had to do it in the past tense, right? So they say, I go to UWM every day, I eat in the cafeteria and I drink coffee. They needed, as they read it, to say it in past tense. So every time that they say it correctly, I gave them like a smiley, and they liked it. Who doesn't like? We like smileys, even if we're adults. So they got all these smiley, and of course, it also makes them alert a little bit, engaged, because they're all looking, and they are looking to see what I'm going to add. And of course, it can have different shapes. I always like to give them also stars, and say, you're all my stars, and just give more colors to the class and to the board. It's more visual, of course. It makes everyone focus on the same thing because it's so clear and big, and it really gives them a feeling that it's live, not just a board. So we did all these, and then later on you can play with that. You know, there's calligraphy pen, crayon. These are all just different types of pen and using it. Then you can choose the colors for every one of them. Okay, we have all these colors here. So that's like in a word.
Yeah, how is
Yeah.
that different than that color wheel that you brought up before?
Okay, the color wheel, this one, this is the color, well, unfortunately, not
Is
yet.
that the new version?
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
new
all right,
version, this
yeah.
is 16. So the color, because I'm using my own computer, so I have that. The color wheel means that I don't have to go back and forth all the time, it's actually next to me, but you have a toolbar. I'll show you where it is. Yeah, it gives me everything here. I can actually, for my place, I can do that. I can do the lines. And it gives me all the pen instead of like going there. But you still have an option to do that. I'm going back to the arrow to make sure that you have it here. So if you go here, this is your setting, and you can basically choose anything that you want to your toolbar. So maybe if you're using the computers here, it's already set. I don't know maybe what they have in the toolbar, but if you look at your smartboard notebook, if you can open that, it's in this icon, you can see what you have in your toolbar. And if you can ask that the toolbar will be on the side. So I don't know if you have it. Yeah, you have it on the side. Okay, what's also nice about the smartboard that, let's say I'm writing something. Okay, I'm writing in, okay, today is, let's say Thursday. I'm here in room B84. Let's say I'm writing this, okay? And I'm writing notes and students give me answers. What's nice about the smartboard that you can save it. You can save it, and then the next day, either you can give your notes to students that were not there, or you can save it as in your D2L, or you can save it for the next day, because how many times it happens that students give you answers and you're so happy with the answers, and then it's not there anymore because the next day no one is there. So you can save it like you save any document. Save as, okay, and you can save it in your folder, okay, and then you can save it. Then the next day you can give students the notes. So for example, if I'm going to my file to look for my smartboards, okay? So I'm going, again, it's like if you save it here, and let's say yeah, that's the new version. Okay, so what's nice about it, again, that you can, okay, so these are my notes. So first I can see what I covered, but also I can, okay, so the next day, these are what students told me, and I wrote what they said, and then the next day I always review, and I say, okay, remember what we talked about yesterday, and you can keep, save your notes. It's something very important that you can do if you write the answers and you can save your notes. So this is something that we cannot do with the regular board because the next day they erase it. The next one, I'm going to show you a few more things. So we did the toolbar, which is basically the most important thing to play with. If you want to still use your PowerPoints and your Word documents, right? So what do? The way to upload a Word document, and I know you can do it here too. So let's say I have a Word document I want to upload. So I'm going to my Word document, for example, this one. So the way to do it, I'm going to, okay, so this is the Word document that I have. You all have your Word document, right? When you give the students. So I'm going to print it. So I'm using the print. Okay, so that's again to upload your old documents, Word documents. I'm going to print, and I'm clicking print. But instead of sending it to a printer, I'm actually sending it to Smart Notebook. Okay? So now I'm sending it to Smart Notebook. And again, you can look, you have it in this system, in here. You send it to Smart Notebook, and you do OK. And now, just give it a few seconds. Okay, sometimes it takes a few seconds. Okay, and then I do OK. It asks me if I can do it, I say OK. And now I have it in a Word document. When I have it this way, okay, did you see how I transferred? Like Kathy said, we cannot play with it, I cannot move it. I can move the entire thing, but I cannot move single word. Sometimes I want to lock it, because if you want to play with that, if you touch it and it starts to move, it's hard sometimes. So when you want to lock it, lock in place, and now it can't move. So I can, yeah, now it cannot move. See, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it cannot move. And I can play with that again. So if this is, I tell them, okay, highlight all the verbs in the present tense. So for example, again, I'm going to highlighter. This is my work document. So I didn't create anything new, but I'm using the smartboard to make it more active. So what we did so far is using the board as a board but interactive, and taking what you have and adding to that. Now we're going to the next step, which is actually creating some of using the Smartboard notebook to create interactive activities, which is also very nice. That's again, you can, okay, again, emphasize it. This is from the book, you just upload it, and you can scan it, upload it, and you can use it as an interactive board. You can upload also PDF. So PDF is again, the way to do PDF is like to do Word document. So if I have a PDF here, let's say elections. Okay, so this is a PDF. Okay, and I'm just going to print it and okay, so I'm going to print. And then you can work with that. Okay, and I'm going to print it to the smartboard and print.
So does that have any different result? Like when I tried to do that, I just copied and pasted. I copied the Word document and I pasted it into Notebook, and that worked too. But would the results be any different than?
But when you upload it, doesn't it changes your setting of the document?
But it wasn't even uploaded. It was just
Oh.
like I copied it, like I just did copy and paste. And it worked to get into the document, but I wonder if you're more limited in what you can do with it.
I think you are.
Maybe that's why it didn't work, because
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
able to like highlight and things like that, so,
Yeah,
okay.
I think, you see here's my PDF, and now I can play with that again. I can, so these are words that help you in the election. That's for my lesson, I needed that. And then again, okay, so PDF you can upload, a Word document, not upload, send to the printer, and PDF, and then if these are PowerPoints, you need to upload that. Any questions or so far? Good? Again, you can, this is another exercise again, when you do, you ask for answers and people will say, for example, I don't know, a sun, and they'll say, okay, water, whatever the questions are. The moment you use the board, after you upload your worksheet, this is a worksheet, right? And the students give answers. The moment you create the, okay, so I always forget that I'm here. Okay, the moment you create that, let's say recognize sun, and then, okay. Let's say it fits in more than one place, right? Because this is, they have to compare the desert in Israel, what there is in the desert, what there isn't in the desert, what are the problems in the desert. So now I want, maybe there is or isn't, and I need more than water twice. I can clone it, or I can copy that. I can do infinite clone. And then I can say, okay, water goes here. Yes, water also goes here. Okay, so you save time and you can, okay, sun is here, right? Okay, and then I need it more, so I can clone it. And I say, okay, sun can also go here. Of course, this is just in general. And then you can say, okay, so what are the main two things that they have in, or they have a problem in the desert? The problem is that there is, let's say, sun. I have to go back to this one, a clone. And the other problem is that they don't have water, for example. But again, it's just nice to, you're not limited. You can give the students to throw, brainstorm and say all these words, and then you can choose from them. Yes?
When you clone, you always have to go back to the original?
Yes. Right. So you can, to make you remember, you can just keep the top ones. But, yeah, you can keep the top ones, and then you can say, okay, I always clone the top ones, and I know to take from there. But this is a nice thing because you brainstorm, right? The students give you all these answers. You can put all the answers here, and then take what you need. Because sometimes they can say things that maybe are not in that worksheet. Okay, but again, another way to use your already existing worksheet, but use the smartboard to make it more interactive and easier for you to. And another thing, you can tell the students to come up and write their words, whatever they think, or if you do brainstorm about the topic, right? You start a new topic, and you say, okay, everyone comes to the board and just write what you think. For example, give me a topic that you do now. What do you teach now? Anyone? Like, what is, you teach something? Okay, I teach. Okay, I teach about time, right? So I'm teaching about how to plan your schedule, so I will say, okay, what do you do in a week? And they all come and they say, okay, we have a job, we go to university, we have to study, we have to write paper, okay? And then I'm teaching days and what you do in each day. So it's nice that everyone comes and write on the board, and then you can organize it. Okay, so who is doing anything on this? And then it's just more interactive. And they also have a practice to write on the board. Okay, this one. So let's say you teach a song, okay? And you want to ask questions about the song. Okay, so in this song they have to recognize who are the two people in the song and whatever. How do you upload your song on the smartboard? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to take a song from your music. If you have playlists, or if you have, right? You have songs that you have on your computers? Do you have songs? Maybe? Okay, so what you do, you go to insert. Okay, I'm going to insert. Did you see what I did? I did insert. And then I'm going to insert hyperlink. Because I have to, yeah, I'm already up, so I'm going to, you have to go to your playlist. Okay, insert a copy from file. Okay, you go to your music. Okay, whatever your music is. You can take from there. Okay, so you can, Okay, so I'm going to take this song, for example. Okay, do you see what I'm doing? Right? So I'm going to, and I'm uploading. So now here's my song. And I can just move it to here. And I'm going to play it. So they listen to the song and they answer the question by listening. So it's a listening comprehension activity. Right? And it can be any, it can be news, it can be
lectures,
אני אוהב שוקולד,
yeah, it can be 10. By the way, you can also, but this is
וארטיק וסוכריות.
but this is really nice because they have it in front of them. You don't need to have a different, you know, CD player or it's all there. And again, this is an activity that you already have your songs and you can do that. Okay, another feature that you can use, it's very nice, is the shade. When you shade things. So the shade is here. And what's nice about shade that you can move on with your question and they don't see the answer yet. So it's like revealing. So they have to change from, let's say, from singular to plural. Oops. Go back. I'm going to shade again. So I'm going to shade here. And I can go like that. And they have to, oh, I can also go like this. Okay, so they have to change from singular to plural, let's say. So I'm going and they say the answer, and then they say the answer, and we do the shading. What's nice about shading is that, remember, let's go back for a minute to this text. Okay, remember that text? Let's say I want to shade it, to make a shade. What's nice about it, if this is a story, you can start the story and say, okay, what do you think comes next? What will be now? What do you predict? Right? When you do reading comprehension, you can say, okay, so these two characters, what they will say to each other? And they practice the language by predicting what will be, and then you can say, okay, and then you go all the way to the end of the story, and then you say, so what did she say at the end? Are they happily ever after? Let's find out. Okay, everyone think they are going to be happily ever after, or do you think? And then it's just a way for them to show reading comprehension, to show that they understand, they can use the language, and then you can reveal the answer. No, they didn't have money, so they didn't live happily ever. But that's true. But that's true. That's what it says. I guess that this is a recipe for
divorce.
So I know, I guess love was not enough for these two. But yeah, but that's another way to, you know, do the shade. Let's continue with some of these activities with. So revealing, we did that. Okay, the next one. Body parts, okay? We teach body parts and we want them to match it to the right place. So if we say, okay, this goes here. So, I don't know what's going on. I have to do it from here. Basically, they should be able to move it. Okay, so this here, and they just okay, so again, you can call them, they can do it in their worksheet, but you can also show how to move it. Okay. So again, this activity you can do for many things, like if they drag the word to the picture, the correct picture, if we do body parts, Another way you can do this one, this activity, is that they tell you the answer, and you say, okay, so what do you think is this one? And the students will tell you, and then you can reveal it. Okay, so they're surprised, they don't know, and they, okay, what's that? Okay, let's find out, and you reveal it. Okay, so you prepare the activity, and you hide it, but these are examples of how to do things that you create your activities.
So how do you set it up that way?
So we can, I can show you later, but basically you create a word, you write it. Okay, so let's say I'm going to write, let's say head, okay? I'm going to write head. Okay, and I'm going to highlight, I'm going to do it bigger, okay? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Is it big enough? Okay. And then that's it? Okay. So I want the head to be here. And I want to, okay, so I just type it. I want to hide it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to the pens, and I'm going to choose the white one. And I'm going to color it. Okay, so as we say, it's a lot of work, but then you keep it, because you need to cover everyone. So I'm coloring it, I'm hiding it. Gun. Now I'm asking, what's that? Head. So again, if it's something that you like to do, I know I do that a lot. What's that?
A lot of work?
Yes. But it saves it, and then you don't need to do it again. And you don't need to write every time head when the students give you the answers. You always have it there. Okay, but that's one of the things that you can do with the hiding. Okay, this one is also very good, also for ESL or other languages. When you have, and you tell them to match the ending of the verb with the suffix. So let's say you want to add a suffix to the verb. So what you do, I'm going to connect that. Okay, and let's say, I'm doing that. And let's say, right? And you're going to tell them, right, maybe you want to, okay? And now you want to make it as one group. So I pull, let's say the students make it correctly, and I have this and I have that. I want to make it one group. So I'm going to make a square of everything, and I'm going to say group. And now I have one more. Okay, so then you don't, okay, and I'm going to do this. So I have this and this, so I have to make sure that it doesn't matter which arrow you take, as long as you take one of them, and I do group. And I put this group here. Okay? The moment you create groups, you can move it. Also, so you say, okay, so this goes under this group, this goes under this group, and then you can tell the students, okay, give me some more verbs. But now this is already, and then they can add it and show how to do it. Okay, and they can do this. So this is not together, I have to mix it together. Okay, so that's another way if you want to combine things. If it's suffixes, prefixes, I don't know, infinitives, whatever you think that you want to show that you connect. This is a chart. Charts are also very easy to create because you just need to take this and decide what is in your chart. And let's say I'm doing this, and already I have a chart. Okay, and then you can play with how many and what you do. I just give this for example because let's say you want them to connect something that's in common or whatever they do. What's nice about it that it automatically put it in the right.
So how did you get the chart in there initially?
So again, I'm going. Here's the chart.
Uh-huh.
And like in Word, you can choose how many columns you need, how many. Let's say that's what you need. And then it makes it up. And then you can enlarge it and play with that. And what's nice about it that they put it and then it automatically get the shape of
So
the.
you have the chart, but how did you get the images on the same page?
Okay, so I'm going to show that. One of the things that it's very easy with a smart notebook is to take images. So I'm going to, you can look at, you can do the Google images, but let's say you see I have a picture here for my desktop. I'm just doing this,
Okay.
and now I have ice cream. Very easy, you just drag it. Or you can look for any Google, you can look in any different window, Google Images, and take from Google Images directly to your, that's one option. Another option that there is a gallery that you can take pictures from. Okay, and in this gallery you have pictures. Let's say you want cookies, so you just drag that. There are lots of, many pictures. It goes by subjects and by themes. Anything that you want, you can look for what you need. And you just drag it from here to here. So if you do food items or if you do things that you need to make in a chart. So again, you go here, there is a picture of gallery. Here you type what you're searching, and then they tell you you can have pictures. Okay, so again, depends on your notebook. So one of the things I'm using the chart is using the conjugation of verbs. They have a verb, and then again you can shade it. Okay, so remember the shade that I showed you before, you can also do it on a chart. And then I'm asking them, okay, this is the verb. How do you say I study in future? Then you give them another pronoun. And then you give another student another verb. So they get different pronouns. So they don't know what's coming, you reveal it, but they have to think to do it. So one of the charts, the chart I use is for conjugation. Or, you know, in Hebrew it's a gender language, so we have masculine, feminine, plural, feminine, plural, masculine. So sometimes the chart will be just to do these in different conjugation of nouns or, yeah.
How do you add shape to the cell, the table cell?
Yeah, so when you go back to the chart, okay, there is an option here. And split cell, delete cell, add cell shade, okay? And then I have a shade now.
Thank you.
Okay, did you see that? So again, you click on it, remove cell shade if you don't think you want. But it's really a nice thing to do with charts. It can be, you know, for example, you can show, let's say you have categories of food, right? You teach you food, so you say pizza, hamburger, ketchup, I don't know, whatever. Another word that goes to this group. So if let's say, for example, I teach languages, like what you speak, right? We teach, do you speak English, do you speak French, do you speak... So you want them to have, let's say you have the same idea of languages that, I don't know, in English, yeah, maybe languages that end with ISH. Exactly, so English, Spanish, what else? Swedish, and you guys give me one more? Danish, okay, so, but you can have categories to do charts like that. Or for example, I do, you know, when we have professions, right? And in English also you have, so for example, you have professions that end with ER, like teacher, driver, writer, and then you have professions that ends with OR, actor, I don't know, protect, what?
Professor.
Professor, right? And then you have professions that ends with IAN, right? Like
Technician.
physician, mathematician, you know, all that. So this is a nice way to, so they can put it in the chart, but again, you have, I'm sure you have the ideas, and the smart would help us to make it more interactive. Again, this is like a conjugation of verbs. So sometimes I'm giving them to find the pattern, so I will not give them, you know how, I will give them in the middle and they have to find the rest. I can give it here. Okay, they have to find what is missing in the conjugation, so it's, okay, and again, this is nouns, more charts, okay? This is a worksheet that I took from the book, and this is the object pronoun. They have to say, it's the pronoun like you say me, you, her, his, right? I see you, I see him, I see her. So they need to read a sentence and take the correct one, and they just move it to. So again, instead of writing the worksheet, you create it and you do it. So Kathy, you missed some of the important things.
No, with a good reason, because we're actually going to use our smart board for the first time. One of our MA students is doing her thesis presentation,
good.
so I had to make sure it was
Good. I just showed, so I showed how to do the chart and how to make the shade. I can show you later because this is something.
I've seen it before.
Okay,
I'm just not comfortable doing it yet.
Okay, so this is another thing that I do. So if you have, you know, in Hebrew we have the biblical Hebrew and we have the modern Hebrew, and many things are similar but not exactly. So it's like Old English, like when you read Shakespeare and you understand it, but you don't know, you don't speak like that. So here, for example, there is a text in modern Hebrew, and they have to find what was the biblical or the opposite. So they just need to move it above the sentence. Okay, so I'm not doing it now correctly, but so they read and they say, oh, this means that. Or if you have the biblical in Hebrew and they have to do it in the morning. Because some of my students actually are interested in also the biblical Hebrew and how it sounds in biblical Hebrew, how, if it's the same. But that's another way to do it. Other ways that you can use when you put things over up. Again, you can do tenses. You can do plural singular. So if the sentence is in singular, what will you do in plural and just put it above it. These are all things that you create. Pattern of structure of conjugation. So if your structure has the same vowels or the same endings, you just show them, you just switch the root of the word, you just switch the terms. So for example, you can do it for past tense in English. So let's say I do play, played, dance, dance. But then you have the word that has EW, right? So you have blow, blew, and no, no, and what else? Throw, through. And you can give them that, and you can make this template like, okay, so it always will be OU goes to be EU, right? No, no, throw, through, blow, blew. And then you can show another pattern like that in English. So for example, now I'm doing all my English studies. I remember how I was taught. So for example, if you have the AUGHT, right? Or the OUGHT. So think, thought, bring, brought. What else?
Catch, caught.
So that will be AU. So
Oh, you mean
catch,
OUGHT?
caught, teach, taught. But then you have bring,
Thought.
brought, think, thought.
Fight, fought.
Yeah. So you can give them this tablet and just change the letters. Like, okay, fight, fought, bring, brought. Okay, so that's, but what's nice about it that you keep it. Okay, so it just doesn't move. And then I can add, okay? So I'm adding all the, okay? I'm adding what, and then they give me another verb and I say, okay, good. Now let's do another one. So I can keep erasing and I don't have to erase my boxes. And how many times we actually erase everything and we need to write again. So this way you keep what it's, the structure, we keep what we always have the same, and we just change the letters or the, okay, so I can do this, and then again erase it, and you can do more. Okay, can be another. This is another listening comprehension. You can upload your music. This is a dialogue about a person that is interested in going to a hotel and is talking to the hotel manager what there is in each room. Okay, so do you have a telephone? Do you have a room? Do you have a television? Do you have supermarket next to? Do you have a bus to the to the city hall? Or so they are listening to the dialogue, and they have to drag what goes to each hotel. So this is the Sheraton in Tel Aviv, this is Plaza Jerusalem, and this is Hilton in Eilat. If you have more, you can of course again clone it. Okay? And then if every hotel has television, so yes, television in the room in each hotel. They're just listening, and while they're doing it. This is again matching vocabulary. So you drag the word to so again, pictures and words, so you don't have to write a lot. This is again, they are listening, and they have and they have to match.
יש דיסק של...
He's looking for this, and then they have to say, okay, oh, he's looking for this one, and he say, oh, I have this one. It's just to see the conversation.
Yeah, for like basic vocabulary, like I'm thinking for like, all the beginning
Shalom.
language classes, like are there some, like for images, like are there some things that Smartboard has so that not each person is looking for their same images again? Or?
Right, so what I showed before, you go to the gallery. In the gallery you have all these pictures. You mean like pictures, right?
Well, like I'm thinking like all foods,
Yeah,
so
so
let's
for
say
example,
you have
yeah,
so all on one page you could do it, okay,
Yeah, so you can do food,
okay.
and then you have all these pictures, and you go to pictures. See,
Okay,
and then,
excellent, all
and
right.
then you can drag. Oh, he wants apple, but he's in a disc store. Oh, he's asking for banana, but no, this is not the right place. Okay, yeah, but you
Okay,
can move.
okay, good.
Okay, this one, yeah, it's a lot. This is just a really quick what Smartboards can do, but there's so much more. Just keep playing with that. Now, I'm not worried that I did that, because at the end, it will ask me, do you want to save all the changes? And I will say no, because then it will go back to my original. So I'm not worried that I now messed or do other things. Because at the end of the session, I will just say, no, I don't want to save it, and I will have my original one. Again, plain and... Okay, again, this is revealing. These are all kinds of things that you can just say the word and you see if it's correct. Just variety of the same idea of hide something and then reveal it. Map is always important for language class when you show where in the world they speak your language, or where in the world you travel if you go to that place. So anything that goes with map. If I teach Israel, I can teach the map of Israel and then plan a trip. Okay, so for example, if we are using vocabulary, and just now in the book we have the verb to be in the past. I was, and he was, and she was, and they were in the country of Israel. What did they see in each place? So again, you just create the vocabulary of the cities or any names, and then you just drag that to the map. Okay? And you can talk about the map and...
Did you import the map?
Right, so the map is a picture
And
that
you
I
scanned it and imported it?
It's a lot of work. All the tiny details are a lot of work, but at the end, again, I don't have to do it anymore. So just, yeah, you have to scan. Well,
But like-
today you can upload from Google.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I used a map of South America the other day, and I just copied the image
Yeah.
from Wikipedia,
Right.
and I put I pasted it into the page, and then I have my words on the side, so it can.
Well, the
You don't
only
have to
thing
scan
that,
everything.
right,
So I'm wondering if you have more access to pages like you did YouTube, you'd have access to Wikipedia.
I just copied the
Yeah.
image. I didn't actually, like, I didn't.
Yeah, it's not
You
a
should be able to
problem.
copy.
I can show you. So for
Yeah,
example,
yeah, right onto the page.
Yeah.
Rather than
I
have
didn't
to-
import it, which maybe limits more what I can do, I'm not
no,
sure.
so for example, yeah, and the only thing that I want to tell you about Google Images, yeah, of course you can, let's say the map of US, right? And as I'm going to images, and I want to take this one, I don't know, whatever, this one. I can do copy, I'm going to this picture, okay? And then I'm going to this, and I'm going to do copy image, okay? And I'm going back to my smartboard. But you have to look for a how do you call it, blank, because you don't want them to have their countries, right? Let's say you just want to, and I'm going to put paste. It says optimize, yes, because the map is big, so now I'm going to make it smaller. Okay, and then now you have it. And
But
then,
can you do anything with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Could you
So-
write on that now?
You could probably erase.
no, so what you do, first I'm going to lock it.
Okay, so maybe that's the problem.
Okay, so now what you can do, I locked it. You can put, if you have a blank map, not with all the countries, all the states, they can drag it. So for example, I don't know, Wisconsin. Okay, I'm going to make it, okay, so it will be nice. And then I can drag it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's simple.
But Kathy was saying,
Can you put a circle? Can you
Yeah,
highlight
yeah, you can do
and
everything.
right on the map? You can.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can play with that as much as I want. I can do magic pen, okay, and I'm going to do, let's say, I have to,
Doesn't like your squares.
what's that? Here,
Yeah.
yeah, you just need to be patient and TLC with the small board, you know, 10 to 11 care. He feels that you don't like it, so you have to be very, it's my baby. So that's one option. What I mean about scanning, sometimes I want to use the same work, the same pages that they have in the book. Because if they have that map in the book, you don't want to give them a different map, because then they start to confuse, because it's already a foreign language. So if they don't see the same picture, and you say, oh, Tel Aviv is here, or let's say Chicago is here, and in their book is like that, it confuses. So you can scan, so that's when you see my scanning is when I want to use their book. So I will have the same picture. So when I put a picture, when I put a word on the map, they have exactly the same picture, no different.
can you go in, Kathy was saying, can you go in and erase these without?
No, this
You
is
can't.
this is a picture. I can't erase.
You
Unless
could,
I create.
actually, you could put,
Oh yeah, I can.
you
yeah, I
could
can
put
do.
like a
Shade.
square, a shade over it.
Yeah, I can do this
Color.
one. So for example, I can do this. Let's say I'm
Yeah.
doing this, okay?
Yeah, and then just,
Who do you want to erase from the map?
Texas, Texas.
Texas. Okay, so I'm going to do
New
it.
York,
Let me
but,
see.
Florida.
Let's see if I, okay, so I'm going
Palm
to
Springs,
do.
specifically.
Don't, we will not tell them, okay? So I have this one, okay? So now I want to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going, let's see if it works. And then I'm going to take the buckets.
Yeah, shade it.
Gone, Texas is gone. That's it. So yeah, you can do that.
I was thinking more
Then-
just erasing the names.
You
Yeah.
can because it's
No, but I'm
It's
saying
an
with
image,
small
yeah.
boxes.
Oh,
you could-
you can, so first of all, you can cover the map like that and you can reveal it. Okay, what do you think is here when you teach the map of the US, right? What state do you think it's here? And then you can just move it. Okay?
Right.
So that's another option. You said well, just to erase it. So we can try, you know, with a pen, like I told you, I showed you before. So let's do a pen. I'm going to take the white,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm going to erase them again. I'm not sure it will work, but let's see. And it might not work with this one.
Are you in pen?
I'm in pen, and now white. Okay,
Oh,
gone.
You could actually do it in that color too.
Yeah, that's right. Let's just leave us. We are the only one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can
so,
play
okay,
with
so
that.
let's say you did that
Yeah.
before class,
Yeah.
And then you wanna go back and reveal it as they give you the answer, how do
Yeah.
you, just erase it?
Who is here?
Oh, very nice.
Excellent.
That way, you know.
Wisconsin, okay? Yeah. So again, there are so many things that you can still do without creating, but just using what you have. Yeah, so again, you can take Google pictures. You can scan your book and upload. You can play. The moment it's already there, you can play with all that. The only thing you cannot change is what's already written, but you can play around it with everything else. Okay, great. Good questions. Okay, let's continue to the next one. Again, these are reading comprehension. They are reading a text, and I'm asking them and then revealing. Okay, reveal the question. Okay, so you can reveal the questions. Okay, that's one option. Okay, and then they have the story, and you can come and tell them. Okay, so now after I reveal it, what is the order? So now you can play what comes first, or you can do this, and then at the end, you can go backward and say, okay, what is the question? If that's the answer, there is a big museum in Jerusalem. What was the question? What is there in, or what kind of museum? You know, like you do in English probably, or other languages, you practice asking questions. Okay, so if you say, there are books from all over the world in the library. So the question will be, what kind of books, or which books, right, are there in this library? It's a national library. So again, there are many opportunities to play with things that you reveal. And then you can have the question, and you have to see if it makes sense. Again, a sequence of events. That's two people, they need to introduce each other, so they come and they just need to say, hi, my name is, I'm from, what's your name? You know, they play with that. So again, they can do it in the worksheet, but then they can come and you can show them. The same here, these are two students, and what do you study? I'm in first year in college, I'm in third year in college, or you're students, or you're a teacher. You know, basic first year conversation, right? In every language, this is like, where are you from? What do you study? Do you live here? And this is like in a restaurant, what is the sequence? Again, what happens first? First comes the waiter, then they sit you, then they give you the menu, then you choose, then you pay. So again, all these sort of things. And it's nice to see, and I showed Katie yesterday, some of my students, it's nice to see how they stand in front of the board and they think, wait, does it make sense? And then they have to read it. And then they discover that actually, no, it doesn't make sense. So now, let's put this here and this here. Instead of writing and erasing, think about what they have to do if they have to rewrite everything. Okay, so you do it with them, and then other students, you can say, okay, someone thinks differently, that this is not the order, come to the board and change your order. And then someone comes and they change the order.
Could you do that on a split screen and have two students doing it?
You can have two students, yes.
You know, like both doing it at the same time, more as a competition?
You can do that, because you can have two students in this smart board. Or you can also do, okay, you do, maybe some of them have some of the information and the other group has a different information, and together they have to ask each other to come to the story. This is any picture you can take, they need to tell the story. One of the advantages of smartboard and visual that they all focus on one picture, and they all with you, because it's not like a small picture, oh, I can see what is, it's really big. And here again, you tell them, okay, start to tell the story. You write what they say, and then you come and they can, you can make it in order. You can, after they say everything, let's make a story from it. Okay, because they also, oh, they are talking, oh, he's asking, he's this, he's paying, it doesn't matter which picture, but then you write all the sentences, and because you write the sentence and you create an object, right, I want pizza, right, and he said, oh, we don't have pizza. Okay, and then we say, what do you have? We don't have it. And then what do you have? You can do, again, doesn't have to be this, but you can. It doesn't recognize my handwriting. So you can leave it. Even if you leave it with your handwriting, you don't have to do that. And now everyone says something about the story, and now let's make a story together. and you can move it. So this is here, this is here. I think it makes everyone an option to participate and to be engaged, because they all see what they say on the board and they are all included and they can create a story together. Okay, this is an advertisement from Israel for things, and I want to emphasize play on word. So again, I'm going to use the magic pen. And I'm going to say, okay, I want to emphasize this. Oh, I'm on the, okay. It's just play on word. Kathy, you probably understand, mishte and te. It's an advertisement for tea. And T is one of the sound T is part of feast. It's like you, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you have east will be the T and feast, or east in the feast, never mind. And then vitamin E and bari, which is healthy, so we have the E sound in the healthy sound. So it just make it nice, but anyway, I'm going to show it to the student and just to show the play on words if you have advertisement like that. So bari and vitamin E, it's play on word because they use the English letter to advertise something that is healthy. So it's a bit complicated to understand. Okay, this is when students present themselves. They can come and they point and they can circle and they can highlight, and you can tell them, okay, highlight books or circle bed. Right? It's a new vocabulary. It doesn't matter which language it is. So let's say my unit is about what's in the house, right? So I will call them, and 2 students can do that, and they say, okay, books, all these new vocabulary. So they have to come either circle the books or, okay. And if you teach numbers, you can how many books or. And sometimes they come and they present their own. So many students, I tell them to present. They send me their pictures. And then I already prepare it before class. That's a lot, I do that a lot. And they come and they already have their presentation. So they don't have to, they send the picture, I prepare it, they come and present their presentation.
Can you clone that whole picture?
Clone, yeah. So it's on, just go back to that. You just
do a clone?
Yeah, copy. Copy.
Paste? Do you need to
Yeah,
paste?
but it doesn't. Copy. Let me see.
Paste.
Paste it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So at this point, could you have both 2 students up at the board circling?
Yeah.
Or will it only?
Yeah, let's do it. Come. Well, the only problem is that I don't have the 2 pens, but I think, yeah. Usually we can have 2 pens. So if you want more students to do things, you can come and, why? Because I think you cannot.
Would you have to do that
Actually,
at
the
full
boards
screen?
that we got in the conference
Have
rooms now
split
have 2
screens.
pens. They have 2 pens with them.
Yeah.
But you can also split the screen and then
Yeah,
they'd be.
but they could both be writing. Their tips are different.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
you can do with your fingers. So let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's practice. So this is again, this is the unit that I teach. So it's they have a carpet and they have a curtain and and a bed and window, and they just keep walking with it. Okay, let's see if you can still survive that. Yeah, we still have a few. What do you mean? This is like again. Proposition, not proposition, it's the possessive, mine, yours, possessive object, right? Mine, yours, his, her.
That's the
So
problem.
you just need to take it. So you can make their lives easier by giving them one option, and then they know whatever is left to play with. Or you can clone it, and they don't know how many they need. Because they always ask you, how many do you have these? Because they count, okay. And then you can just make it.
So you imported this as the exercise How did you keep the vocabulary on top
So what I did,
separate?
so this one I create on the smartboard,
Okay.
right, with the text box.
And you import the exercise?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, if not, you cannot like how to say,
Right.
then you cannot play with that. You can only move what you create on smartboard. No,
Okay.
that's active. But yeah, so I imported many of my Word document, but then I added, okay, then I added the exercises. So again, it's just possessive pronoun. This is again numbers in Hebrew are feminine or masculine, and they need to decide if it's a masculine number or a feminine number, and they have to decide. So again, they can do this or this. Yeah, I can clone that. Infinite cloner, it means that I can do more. Again, matching. This is again, it's not, you can just, the fact that it has colors, it helps because they see the suffixes. And again, you can use a magic pen to emphasize if you want. Magic pen, so I'm going to show them the suffix that they need to do for the masculine. I want to emphasize the E, which is mine, like, okay? This is another exercise that you can, again, this is a little bit more advanced, but, oops, I'm on, so I'm going back to this. Okay, and next. Okay, so they just need to, it's an exercise of revealing something. So when I teach them how the Hebrew words were created, there are some few techniques, and I'm showing them how to do it. So this is, oops. Yeah. Okay, the next one, I think it's this one that I like a lot. Yeah. So this one is, I really like this magnifying glass, which is, this is my baby, my favorite, that you tell them, okay, this is the plural, and you know, like in English, you want them to create plural. So like in English, you have the regular, like books, and tables. But then you have,
Matches.
yeah, and then you have babies, and then you have children, and fish, and sheep, and all, and what else? Like all these exceptions. So we have here also in Hebrew. So what I show them is, okay, what is the plural of wall, and they have to tell me, and then I reveal it. Then what is the plural of computer, and they will say it. And they see the suffixes, okay? So again, it's hard to know when you see it in a foreign language, but try to imagine that this is a room, and then I'm showing them the S, rooms. Yeah. And let's say if this is like a child, so think about it adding children. So
And
just
where's that tool?
this tool
This is very hard. She
Yes.
makes it look easy. It's really hard. It's like she's using different colored fonts and stuff.
different colors, and I'm using
How
that
did you learn how to do this? Like this thing?
by
just playing
myself.
with it?
Yeah, by playing.
See, this would
and-
be good to have instructions for.
Yeah, like steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that we always say start with what I started
Yeah,
class,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll get to that. This is really what
This is
You know,
advanced.
advanced.
This is
advanced, but I'm
advanced.
giving you a preview for next session. And really we can do that. Yeah, here it's a little bit tricky because you have to have the magnifying glass, and you have to
One
have
color.
the color, one color, and then another color, the
the
words,
background.
and then another color, and then you have to make sure that,
Steps.
yeah. So we can do it, but not today. Another tool that you can use, the smart, is the camera. And the camera, you can look at this picture, and if you want to break the picture and say, what do you see in the picture? So you can use the camera. Camera has many features, but I'll show you just one of them. So you're going to choose, and I'm going to show that there is actually a man here. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so I can show them, oh see, that's the man. I don't know if you can see. And then I want to say, okay, I want to show the dress. now I have her. So it depends if you want to do something that it's a puzzle, or if it's something that, for example, you can do the map, right? And you can, the map of the US or anything, and you can break it into pictures and then tell them to connect the pictures because you already break it, and then you can show them what is the big picture.
It'd be a great exercise for low-level ESL students where you broke that into like 6 pieces and have them, you know, like move that
Right.
left piece over to the right and move that, you know.
Right, and you, exactly, and you actually can also do like directions, right?
Right.
Using the vocabulary of directions, right, left, up, down, and you tell them how to create a picture. So you can have one student has the original picture, and the students, other students have the pieces, and he tells them, okay, put this up, put this down, take it left, take it right, you know? Yeah, good. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, these are all exercises that exist in Smartboard. I'm not going to go over that. I just want to tell you these are all templates that exist. I didn't create that. I just took a template. So for example, here they have to match this is in feminine, these are. Okay, so the students, so the template is already in a Smartboard in the gallery, and I just, you know, put my words, and then they created the template. They can check themselves. It gives them, see, I'm on, and so that's again just a preview what there is still infinitive verb. They can add, and it gives them all kinds of exercises they just took from the template. Okay, they have to choose the correct words, multiple choice, infinitive and verb. Okay, so if I do correctly, it will take it, and if I wrong, it will not take it. What's that?
So did you create those images or you imported those images from?
This exists. This is what Smartboard gives us, all kinds, but I put the words in Hebrew. So again, if I do it correctly,
Yeah.
it will take it, and then I'm not doing it correctly, it will say, no, no, no,
So
try again.
how did you have to program that to do it?
No,
It's a template.
it's a tablet, so edit. You see? It's there. You just need to
Oh, I see.
decide. It can be anything. It can be feminine, masculine. So it will take, you can do feminine, masculine. And the words into feminine, the words into masculine, and if they make mistake, it doesn't let them. So I chose infinitive and verb. Anything you want to do.
And you can add another label.
Yeah. You see, I can add all that. I just did this, two, okay? Of course, they can have more. And then you can also do it about a story. It doesn't have to be just grammar. It can be about the character if, you know, that's, let's say that characteristic is part of his personality. Let's say you teach adjectives and you say, okay, or something in the story. If it was a good thing to do or a bad thing to do. If it was, what else do you like in the story? Or a text that you read. So for example, when I taught the desert, right? So what's in the desert, what isn't in the desert, vocabulary. So if they do it correctly or not. I can change anything here.
Okay.
2 categories. Any 2 categories that you want.
So you can add another category,
I can.
right?
Well, in this one you can't. You have to
So there are
choose.
other templates?
Yeah, like I did before. Remember I did this one?
So what does this look like for the students?
Okay, so wait, let me show you this one.
Okay.
This one is a 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is in Hebrew masculine, this is in Hebrew feminine and plural.
Template.
So if you have anything that are 3 categories, like IES, S, and ES, right? Or ED, D, IED. So they can do that. And then you just, okay, so for the student, Kathy, you asked me, right? So they see this way. They see the wheel. It's nice because, so if I do it correctly, and if I don't do it correctly,
And where do you get these templates?
Yeah,
I'll show you.
exactly.
Okay, let me just finish that. Okay, this is Wheel of Fortune, so they can, again, it's a template. Okay, and they have the pronoun, and they give the conjunction.
Another template, right?
Yeah. You know this template?
No.
Did you see that?
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, so you know what the template.
I've
No,
never
no,
seen
I
this
don't
one.
Oh,
I'm just saying another. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, these are so many, I'll show you, it's just not, it's how to choose.
And do they have a Jeopardy game
Yeah, they
template?
have Jeopardy. this is memory game, I think, or it's a, yeah, this is, okay, this is translation and memory, so in and will, doesn't make sense in here. So to and le, which is correct. That's for position and translation. So again, you edit it.
So these are what, like, if we have notebook on our computers, we can find these templates? Or these
Yeah,
are
I'll
on
show
the
you in a minute.
websites?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you everything. You see, I think this is the, okay. So this one, another thing I want to show you, that you can go to this website and you can, again, what's nice about Smartboard is you can, you have your website, you can put a link and then it takes you immediately to the website. So if you teach cultural thing, this is really important because like when I teach about Israel, I can immediately click on the website of the country, and you can also work with that. See? So if you want to emphasize something in the website, and you can write, okay, that's good. Okay, oh, then I can. So any website that you go, you can still work with that. So let's see, there are community. Okay, and then you can erase that. Okay, so you can say, okay, do that on the website. Read this, read this, and again, okay, read this, which is nice. You actually write on a website, someone else's website. Okay? Okay, and another thing that, okay, this I showed you, the YouTube that I can do. So now, one more thing I want you to see here. So when we have the, I will not show now the options in the 16, because 16 the students can use their laptop, their phones, and they can do that. But I wanted to show you this one. So this is Smart Exchange. This is good for you and Katie too. Smart Exchange means that these are all teachers that share their lesson plans. So you can actually take from them. So for example, Spanish. I'm going to look for Spanish, okay? So let's see what Spanish gives me. This one, okay? Click to preview. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and I see if I like it. And if I like it, I can just download it.
So it's all open resource materials.
Yeah, and now I have it. And now there are many people that contribute their knowledge.
Have you put your things for Hebrew?
I didn't.
You're not sharing.
What?
You don't share.
No, I don't mind. I share a lot. I give.
No, because then we could go and then take yours and modify it.
Oh, that's. I might do that. Okay, so for example.
Although it's good to know how to do it.
Yeah, for example,
Otherwise you may not
ESL. Okay, so ESL.
know. Shows a lot.
So you have share. Okay, so here you have click to preview. I did that, for example, so I took this and I created, okay, so this is like, I took this template and I created the alphabet in Hebrew.
Huh?
Because this is, I think it's the alphabet, yeah. So I took the same idea, I did Hebrew.
So you took the idea, or did it actually help to have?
No, yeah, I took, it's here. Okay, so it's Kushball, it's a game and I have it too, in Hebrew now.
So it saved you time, you didn't have to recreate the whole
Exactly,
thing? Okay.
exactly. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
really a good resource. Sometimes you don't find it exactly what you need because they don't teach exactly what I teach, right? But some of the things you can, if someone shared like...
So you
this
can look
is-
at different languages, not just the one you teach.
Exactly, that's what I do. I took it from ESL. But that's why it calls Smart Exchange. This is an option, it's in your toolbar to actually have these options. So what I did, I just took it the idea. You see, I'm downloading to my, this is called Kushball, and instead of having English letters, I have now Hebrew letters, okay? So this is Hebrew letters. They click, and they have B, okay? And you just need to edit.
So what happens if the version is in the 16.2 or whatever, and we're using an older, will we be able to import it or no?
16 for sure, but I don't know about 11, if it will, 11 probably will not take 16, but
No?
I'm not sure. But I think there are enough, even now. Because from
And you
11,
can easily see what version they used of
Yeah.
Notebook?
yeah, and from 11 to 16 there are improvements, but it's not like, big thing. Like it makes it easier, it makes it more interactive, but you can still. Okay, so this is the smart, and now let me show you the gallery. And the gallery is where I took all my games and everything. So if I go back to this, okay, so this is, okay, so that's my, and I want to add a game. Okay, so to add a game, I want to go to, and of course I have a lot more. I use almost all the options. I just didn't show you everything because you're already overwhelmed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to the gallery. The gallery is here. Okay. Oops. Just make sure I'm away from okay, and when I open the gallery, I see lesson activity toolkit. Okay, so this can be one of them. And here you also have the smart exchange if you don't find it. Smart exchange, smart lab activities, you don't have it yet, but you can go to lesson activity and lesson activity toolkit. Okay, so I'm going there. Okay, and I'm looking for interactive, the second one. And you see here I have all these templates. So for example, I can take this one. Okay, so what kind of thing you can do with that? You have to think what you can do with these kind of things. But you have the template. So this one, for example, it's a balloon pop. I have an exercise like that too, that they have to say the answer, and it pops. You have the answer. Okay, so they say the answer. Let's say you want to say, okay, you show them a letter, you say what is the sound, and they say B. And here you have the B. Okay, so it depends if you want to work on sounds, if you want to work on, okay, what else can you take from here? Many, many things, okay? This is one of,
So I opened this koosh ball. What do you actually, I mean, this,
so, I can show you later how I did that. What else can you do here? Memory game, I guess. But you see, it's all these templates that I took. Just play that. Yes, it's a lot of work, but the moment you find something it will save you time later. Oh, this is the one that I told you that I do with the wheels. Okay, so you can look for the, where is it? Right here. Okay, so I choose it from the template and I just make my own.
Mm.